Have you had to use laxatives in the past to poop regularly? Have you used laxatives to purge or cleanse your body only to find out how harmful they can be? If so, is there anything that you can do? Can you reverse the damage that laxatives made, or is your digestion forever ruined? This question came into my IG stories, and I am so excited to be bringing you the answer today. There is hope for your digestion after laxatives, and today I'm teaching you exactly what to do to heal from laxative use and abuse. Hey friend, welcome to the Better Belly Podcast. Do you want freedom from bloating and constipation? Do you find yourself up late at night Googling natural constipation remedies, causes for bloating, or recipes and exercises to help constipation? Are you frustrated with the mind game of trying to figure out what foods are helping or hurting your gut? Hey, I'm Allison, mom, wife, and functional gut health practitioner. At a young age, bloating and constipation were my constants. I didn't know what to do and wished I could just live a normal life focusing on my passions, my job, and my family. I was tired of abdominal pain that woke me up at night and wasting time and money on gut health remedies that just didn't work. Breakthrough moment, the functional medicine and osteopathic approach to gut health. In this podcast, you will find natural remedies for bloating and constipation, practical, doable belly exercises and massages, and debunk the myths about what really is causing your tummy problems. So toss out those laxatives and say goodbye to that embarrassing gas. Your gut health is calling. And just as a reminder, this information is not meant to diagnose, manage, or treat disease. Always consult with your own health practitioner before you make any changes to your health. So this question and topic we are discussing on the podcast today is something near and dear to my heart because it was something I heard when I was dealing with chronic constipation in 2014 through 2017 from my doctors. And it was this warning, don't rely on laxatives too much, or you may become reliant on them. Or if you use laxatives too much, it alters your body. And this is true. It has truth in it, but it also can have a lot of alarmism in it. And so to untangle this question today that I got on my Instagram stories, I've broken up my answer in a couple different pieces. I'm going to read the question from my Instagram stories and tell you what the pieces are. So the question is it possible to ruin your natural digestion through abuse of laxatives in the past? Number one, I'm going to define abuse of laxatives. Number two, I'm going to define digestion based off of my interpretation, what I mean when I say digestion, plus what I think this person may be asking when she asked about ruining digestion. Number three, I'm going to define ruin, what may or may not be included in that question. She's asking about harming or damaging her digestion. And number four, I'm going to put it all together in your overall takeaway. So number one, defining abuse of laxatives. And I'm going to define this based off of from the smallest points, if I use a laxative once, to I only use a laxative when I can't poop, to I use a laxative or have used a laxative in the past as a form of a cleanse, which I know can be a thing that happens with eating disorders and things like that. And we're assuming that the eating disorder or disordered eating has ended at this point. But if you use a laxative ever, yes, it does change things. And the more that you use it, the more that it can alter your digestion. And it can alter your microbiome because it's pushing things through. It can alter your absorption of vital minerals that you need. In fact, many minerals that you would need to actually poop healthfully. So magnesium, potassium, and sodium. Magnesium gets a lot of press. And so I would, even in mentioning those three things, highlight more so sodium and potassium. If you've never done an intentional sodium and potassium rebuilding stage, if you've never done an HTMA test that looks at your mineral health through your hair so you can actually see what minerals you are possibly missing. If you're only supporting your magnesium, I don't care what type of magnesium or form, if you're familiar with how there's oxide and malate and all these different types of magnesium, if you're only supplementing with magnesium, you most likely need sodium and potassium as well, because all three of those get depleted when we use laxatives. And then if you're using those, that can be even if you just point blank need to poop, but especially if you're using laxatives when you're not necessarily needing to poop, but you're using it as a purge or a cleanse format, which is not it's not something I'm recommending. That would be any type of use of laxatives. And if you're wondering, do I fall under it? It's merely the more that you're using a laxative under less circumstances of actual constipation, the more damage it would create. And the more frequently you use laxatives, even if you're constipated, say you're having to use a laxative every day to poop, the more that is going to set up a situation where your gut microbiome is being altered. Now, that can sound discouraging. So hang on to the next couple points, and we're going to dig into this. Number 2, I'm going to define digestion. So whenever I say the word digestion, I'm talking about and what a combination of what I think this person might be asking. I think about the experience of digesting. So bloating, acid reflux, comfortability. Do you feel good when you digest? Quality of digestion, like can you break down food? Can you absorb it? Do you feel energized after you eat, or do you just feel heavy and weighted down? What's the health of your microbiome in your gut? Like, do laxatives change your gut microbiome? And pooping. Can you still poop even after you use laxatives? So that is digestion. When it comes to answering, does abuse of laxatives affect digestion? The answer is yes. If you are using laxatives in a situation where your bowel is not constipated, you are causing a liquidation of the gut microbiome, similar when you have diarrhea, and that will then reduce the overall number of healthy microbiomes or gut bacteria you have. And healthy gut bacteria have all sorts of roles. Some healthy gut bacteria help you detox estrogen, some help you detox histamine and break down histamine, some help you break down food, some keep other bad pathogens at bay. And if you really deplete a lot of your healthy microbiome, which we also do with things like antibiotics, so this could be laxatives, antibiotics, diarrhea, if you're depleting those healthy microbiome colonies, you're setting yourself up for it to be easier for bad pathogens to come in and make ground. And that could be everything from candida overgrowth, because all of us have candida in us, but candida might overgrow if basically there's too many plots of land that are untaken. Candida will just be like, hello, and overgrow everywhere. So candida overgrowth can be caused by use of laxatives, which of course is going to alter your digestion. Parasite infestations, all these things, your immune system is set up for a lot more irritation. You can develop food sensitivities through leaky gut, and that all is altering your digestion. So yes, can use or abuse of laxatives alter your digestion? Yes, it can alter your experience of digestion. It can increase things like bloating, especially if you develop candida overgrowth, acid reflux. It can impact your comfort as you digest. Like, do you have quick feelings of fullness? Do you feel that food moves through you? Do you feel energized? It can impact your quality of digestion. Can you break down food? Like, do you have the actual bacterial colonies that are going to help you break down food and assist you, opposed to not assisting you, pretty much? The health of your microbiome in your gut, and generally pooping. If you don't have good bacteria or the right quantities of bacteria, or you have a lot of bad bacteria or pathogens like candida, parasites, H. pylori, etc., that's going to set you up for slow motility and ultimately constipation. So it's possible maybe you never had constipation and then you abused laxatives, aka you used them when you didn't have constipation as a form of a purge or a cleanse. You could actually develop constipation after this period of time because you've altered your gut microbiome. Now, so again, don't be super discouraged. Let's move on. Let's define ruin. Can you ruin your digestion? Now, when I hear this word, I think of the difference between damage and, as in like altering. Yes, you can alter and damage your digestion. Ruin makes me think long term, like forever. like could I really forever change my gut microbiome, my digestion, my experience of digestion, and it's unalterable? It's not reversible. And that answer is no. I have never seen a case where you can damage your gut so much that it's not reversible, other than taking out feet, like feet of the small and large intestine. I've worked with a client who had all of her large intestine taken out and about a foot of her small intestine left, which is like 80% of her small and large intestine, like total length. She had about 80% of it taken out. When she came to me, she had a lot of pain, a lot of digestion problems. And while I can never reverse the fact that she had that much of her bowels taken out, what I did do, what we were able to do, is still optimize her situation so she could have more comfort and feel better and have more energy. Outside of surgery, I have never seen a case yet where you cannot reverse the damage done. I've never seen someone go to a doctor and do that, but working with me one-to-one, working in our clinic, I've never seen it not be reversible. So my answer, if you say, can you ruin your natural digestion through abusive laxatives? You can, yes, damage it. You cannot forever alter it. What you then need to do, if you have altered it, is track down what alterations have happened. Depending on every single person, you can have different things happen to you, depending on where you've traveled, what circumstances you're living in, the state of your home, the state of your stress levels, your genetics. All these different things can vary on how these laxative abuse or use can impact you. So I always turn to functional lab testing when this happens. I run a GI map. I look for parasites. I look for H. pylori. I look at your secretory IgA levels, which is the immune system in your gut. I look for gluten sensitivity. I might do an oat test depending on your symptom history, which I literally have an easy to use self-evaluation form in the Better Belly Blueprint, my new online course that helps you determine if you need to do an organic acids test. I would run an HTMA test to see what your mineral levels are like and what type of mineral therapies we can specifically do. Because again, there's generally good ideas. Take sodium, take potassium, take magnesium. But if you're struggling with other problems like copper toxicity or heavy metals that have accrued, because your gut microbiome also helps you manage heavy metals, and if that's been altered, your heavy metals might build up. All these things, we just want to know what specific therapies to do for you and not for somebody else who also used laxatives or abused laxatives in the past. So putting this all together, your takeaway, even if point number 1 and point number 2 were hard to hear, that laxatives can alter your digestion, even short-term use or using it specifically for constipation, you've never lost hope. You can always improve or even fully reverse what has happened. And you do that, I do that, and I see people regularly do it the best when you start with functional lab testing. You look for root cause. You never just tackle the candida or just tackle the food sensitivity. You look at everything. You look at all the pathogens involved. You look at why you have a candida overgrowth. You look at not just food sensitivities, but also pathogens and also mineral imbalance. And when you deal with all of that, you start pooping again. Your gut heals. You digest better. Your bloating is gone. You can break down food. Your food sensitivity is reduced. Your leaky gut heals. Everything gets better. So I've worked with women who've had constipation for 6 months, 6 years, multiple decades. I've worked with women who've had abdominal surgeries, abdominal scarring, small intestines removed, autoimmune diseases like Crohn's and ulcerative colitis. And yes, they've all gotten better. You can improve too. And you can improve even if your health, even if you don't have these health histories. You can end bloating and constipation even if you already feel like you live healthy and eat healthy and you don't know why you have constipation. There is a reason, and I would love to help you find it. This is exactly why I created my new course, the Better Belly Blueprint, which is an online course and group coaching program where I teach you how to end bloating and constipation for good through functional lab testing, a customized health plan, and rad science that I teach you how to do yourself. If you're listening to this podcast and you're wanting to find the secret to ending your bloating and constipation, if you want to stop wasting money in constipation remedies that don't work, then join the Better Belly Blueprint today. In the Better Belly Blueprint, you will be able to order my 4 foundational functional lab tests, Create a health plan that's customized to you and your body, and get freedom from bloating and constipation in 6 months or less. You'll walk away from this course with a step-by-step plan that you know will work so you can feel good day after day. So, if you're ready to end bloating and constipation for good, then join the Better Belly Blueprint today. Right now, you can join for 50% off the total course price as a thank you for joining the first release of my course. And on top of this, anytime you join, 10% of the proceeds of your purchase will go to paying off the medical debt of someone in need through partnership with RIP Medical Debt, a nonprofit dedicated to eliminating debt in the U.S. So just go to betterbellytherapies.com/blueprint or click the link in the show notes to join today. There are only 30 spots total for this first class, and they are already filling up. So if you are tired of jumping from podcast to podcast and blog to blog trying to heal your constipation, then join the Better Belly Blueprint today. Go to betterbellytherapies.com/blueprint or click the link in the show notes. Enrollment ends May 31st or when all 30 spots are filled. So join today. Hey friend, I hope you loved this episode. If you've been a fan for a while or newly loving this podcast, can you do me a favor? Drop into Apple Podcasts and leave me a review. When you leave a review, you do so much. You help me know you're listening, you can tell me what you're loving so I know what to make more of, and you help others by boosting this podcast so other people like you can find the podcast too. I mean, it's a win-win-win, right? So if you want a way to pay it forward, just go to Apple Podcasts or click the link in my show notes and leave a rating and review. And if you want some more free stuff, just head over to my free Facebook group, betterbellytherapies.com/Facebook, and you can get access to all of my free support for you, including some Facebook group exclusive stuff like my podcast episode vault, where you can search the Better Belly podcast by topic and find exactly what you need to expedite your healing. I cannot wait to see you guys in there. Catch you guys next week.